Yeah,
Cool,
we gotta stay
man.
connected.
Thanks for doing this.
Of course, I can't touch this, huh?
You can do whatever.
Okay.
We'll be fine. It's pretty
Cool.
casual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we
man,
just jump right into it or what?
yeah, we're just gonna jump into it. No,
Okay.
nothing formal here, but dude, thanks so much. So you came to mind. I wanted you on this podcast. Like you're moving and shaking. I've just seen you from a distance, and one of the things I've noticed is like your ability to like create brands is pretty amazing, and like you're pushing social media. You're always pushing content. But like, take me back. Like, where did that? What was the inception of some of these businesses here?
Yeah, well, Motive was the first brand I created.
Okay.
And I fell in love with creating brands.
And this is your clothing line, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my skateboarding clothing line. Yes, sir. Yeah, I just fell in love with it after that. And, Motive wasn't making me so much money in the beginning. Looked into social media because I realized, hey, social media is, something I need to learn if I want to really blow up my brand. And so I put Motive on the shelf for a couple years, learned about social media, learned about marketing, developed some business skills, and grew a social media agency. And then, within that, I helped build other people's brands, and which is a passion of mine. I love coming up with like logos, and in the beginning I did everything too. Like I was the graphic designer, I was the website developer. Like when you first start a company, you have to wear multiple hats.
Yep.
Now I have people who who are great at what they do in those specific areas, right? Great website designers, great social media managers, great content creators, all that that I systemize. And now I'm diving back into Motive and focusing on that.
Take me back to that first social media kind of client. So you're dabbling, you're wanting to do this Motive thing, and then you have this aha moment, like, oh shoot, I need to get good at the social media, the branding, like
yep. So it started with the shift of focus, right?
Okay.
I realized that, and as I shift that focus, I started attracting opportunities to learn about that. So I attracted a friend at the time who owned a record label, and he would help music artists blow up on social media. And I, befriended him. He helped me a little bit with Motive at the time. And then I got to see how like these artists were blowing up on the back end, like the hidden truths behind their social media and how they were able to grow so fast, and the hacks, all the tips, and how he was able to close deals through his personal brand. Like this guy had like 200,000 followers. He would get on some DMs. From DMs, he would get on phone calls and close $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 deals. And I was just like, wow, that's what I need to learn how to do.
Wow.
And that's
so what's the pitch there? Like, is it he's like, oh, you're to these companies, you're leaving money on the table, I could blow your brand up? He was pitching
artists, not companies. So
specifically artists.
Yeah, so artist development. So he had an artist development program where he would fly artists to California and LA, put them in the best studio, the mix room in Los Angeles, and then record music videos, record all the stuff, set up their social media, and basically position them for success online. And what happens after that, it's depending on their work ethic of the artist. And so I learned that. Now, a lot of times he didn't deliver on all the things that he said he was going to deliver on, which is how we kind of separated. Because I'm a big component of, doing good business.
So you saw that, like, hey, like you got to deliver.
Right.
Here.
Yeah. So I went under his wing, how he actually showed me everything, right? Because the people don't just show you everything that they're doing just by being friends. I actually asked him to invest in Forex at the time. I was like trying to do whatever I can to make money at the time. So I was like, all right, I'll dabble in this, e-com, drop shipping, anything I could do that just kind of pours money into Motive. And Forex was the thing I was doing at the time. And I remember making a couple $1,000. I was like, oh, I figured this thing out. And I asked him to, invest $3,000, and he did. And the moment he invested $3,000, I lost it all. Yeah. So I lost all his money, lost my money. And I'm a person of good, intention. So I wasn't going to just block him. He doesn't know where I lived. I could have just like not spoken to him, right, and not paid him back. But I took out a loan from the bank, $10,000. I don't know how I got approved. I got approved at the time. I walked in there going, yeah, I got the good watch on, and it was like, I need more money to make money. I'm a Forex trader. I pitched the bankers or whatever. But I used that loan. I used that loan to pay him back. And since I paid him back, I said, there's not that many people in the industry that have the character that you do. I'll, take you under my wing. I'll show you how I do this. Yeah. And he did. And I got to see how, the whole back end, like how he was sending DMs out, and how powerful, really the big thing was how powerful a personal brand is. That reputation was what opened up the opportunities to even have those type of deals.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I've noticed you're a master at is building the brand. So Marco the Champion, is that even your last name?
I changed it to be my last name.
No way.
Yeah. Marco
Dude, I gotta
Champion.
hear that story. But I'm like, because so you're like Marco the champion everywhere, and
Yep.
I'm like, that is so genius. Like, you know, like you
Yeah.
created this label. I don't even know what this guy's last name is, but no, come to find out, you actually changed your last name,
Yep.
bro.
Yep. Marco Champion.
That's amazing.
So I did it for the legacy, not for me, but for my kids and for my grandchildren and for the kids. Like they're
Mhm.
all going to see this content.
Mhm.
You know, our grandparents. We imagine we could see their whole lives, like them documenting their lives. How much we can learn from our grandparents.
So how important is brand and social media right now?
I think
in
it's
this
one of
landscape?
the highest things that is of value in this world, is digital landscape. I mean, when you look at like assets in this world, you know, data is one of the biggest assets, and data is just that stuff that we put online.
Yeah. So offline, so I was telling you I'm launching this podcast, obviously going to do some long form stuff on YouTube.
Yep.
So what advice would you give me, somebody that's just kind of getting into it? Okay, I'm recording these long form interviews. Obviously I'm going to throw that up on YouTube and then chop it up into short form. Like, how would you coach somebody like me that's just like kind of getting into it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's smart that you're stacking a couple clips, you know, you're stacking a couple podcasts so that you launch and you have an arsenal. That way you're not just rushing to get a podcast out. I think 4 is a good amount before you start launching.
Okay.
Because then you have a month's worth. You know, having a weekly podcast is like, if you can do more, great. But a weekly podcast is good consistency enough to actually achieve some good metrics.
Okay.
And then from that one podcast, you know, you can pull so many micros depending on how good that podcast is.
Right.
You can pull 10, 20, maybe even 30 micros out of that. That can last a month off just one podcast on other platforms.
Because they only have to be 15
10 seconds,
10 seconds.
15 seconds,
Okay.
30. I mean, our attention span is short, especially on TikTok, Instagram when you're scrolling.
Yep.
So you only need those little golden nuggets. And, you know, we're having a 30, 60 minute podcast. How many of those can we find in that? And that's for the micro platforms, right? YouTube, all the audio platforms is for the podcast, is considered a macro. And from that macro, you know, you piece those micros out, put it out to the other platforms, promote the podcast, and then just continue doing it every week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good stuff. So your Motive brand was kind of your first thing. You moved into the social media agency, and then you've got a couple different things going there.
Yeah.
And then it sounds like you're kind of back working on Motive, kind of building that brand again.
Yep. We just officially launched this last weekend, actually, with Fashion Week. We did 10 collections on the runway. We did pants, shirts, socks, box. I mean, like the whole fit. And it was really cool to see. We don't have it out for sale yet, but we have it, you know, made. Those things that they were walking in were samples. They were the first ones. And so it was cool to, like, you know, get back into it and have something that actually motivates me to, like, a reason why I should work on it. Like, okay, we're going to be in Fashion Week. Got to get the clothes out. Got to get the merch. Got to make sure the app is good, because we have an app for Motive. And then make sure, like, our back end is good, because when I first started it, I had no business skills. I didn't understand how to operate a business. And, you know, the clothing industry has a pretty big supply chain. You know, there's a lot of moving pieces.
Is this going to be a direct to consumer, like they get on the website?
Yeah, well, they have to go on the app.
They have to go on the app.
Yep. So the website will direct them to the app. We will eventually have stuff on the website, but that's like simple stuff, like t-shirts, things that you can, like, that anybody can buy. Like, the way I want to separate Motive when I think about it is I'm gonna have the Motive original collections, which is super simple stuff like this, just the logo.
Okay.
Like, the materials are just really, really nice and sustainable, made mostly from bamboo. So everything's organic, which is something that you normally don't find in the clothing industry, because there's a lot of fast fashion. And that's why I'm actually really pulled to do this, because clothing industry is the second largest pollution industry in the world. And that's because, you know, of all of the chemicals that we use, cotton mainly being one of the, you know, number one fibers we use in the clothing industry. Like, it just needs to change. And people don't realize that they have like over 8,000 chemicals on a shirt that they're wearing. And what goes on the body goes in the body. But people they don't tell you that, right? Because they just want to make as much money as they can.
Right.
They want you to buy as much and make as much. And I want to bring some awareness to that. And I don't want to push like I'm a sustainable company. I just want to push that I'm a cool, dope company. We're just doing sustainable things on the back end, like any company should.
That's amazing.
And I want to start that trend with that.
Yeah. Wow. That's next level. That's awesome.
That's Motive is something I'm going to do till I die. There's other companies I'm gonna start, sell, get out of. But Motive is like my baby. Like, there's not a number that you can put to like buy that, because you're buying away my happiness. You're buying away my purpose in a sense. Because that's what I feel like with Motive.
So how important is it to have a passion infused in what you're doing? Obviously, skateboarding's been a big part of your life.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends. I think if you can't be extremely passionate in the thing that makes you money, at least do the passion that you are every day. Like, for example, like, the social media agency, like it's at first it was very exciting, but it's starting to become mundane because it's the same thing, right? Same process, same thing over and over again, and scaling to like, millions and millions of dollars is kind of boring because you're just doing the same thing just at scale. So there's just things that you have to make sure that don't break in the process of that. So I still skate even though I work on an agency because that passion from skateboarding actually flows into when I work on the agency.
Nice.
And a lot of people forget to do what they love, forget to do their passion. Because it's really hard to like integrate your passion and your work. Like sometimes you do. And that's what my goal is with Motive. Eventually I want to just have my companies run and, be on the board of the companies, like kind of the chairman, have CEOs for all the other companies I have, and just be the CEO for Motive and like let that be like my passion and my money, generator. I'm actually thinking about making it a nonprofit, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Cool.
For Motive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give it all back to the people.
That's awesome. Awesome. So take me back. So you had some life transformative thing happen when you were young, right? Didn't you have like an accident or something?
Yeah. I for so many years I called it an accident, and I realized that it was on purpose. I got run over by a car when I was 15. I wanted to be a pro skateboarder, had sponsorships, and I flew into the street, hit a crack, got ran over. Doctor said I would never walk again. Was stuck in a wheelchair. I was super passionate about skateboarding that I didn't want to believe that the doctors told me that I would never walk again. I was just like, no, I got to get back on my board. It might not be pro, might not jump down 10, 15 stairs, hit a handrail, do anything crazy like that. But I want to feel the sensation of standing on a board and riding. Like that was my goal.
Right.
And thinking about that every single day, my mind allowed it, to be a possibility in my reality. And eventually my nerves came back to my legs. I mean, I had like shattered pelvis, broke my spine, punctured bladder, damaged nerves. Like I was pretty messed up.
Yeah.
But after that, I realized like, shit, how was I able to do that if the doctor said it was, kind of impossible that you would be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life? And that question kind of pulled me into like really starting to like peel back the layers of our reality in a way, like to see like how powerful your mind is and like what you can possibly do if you set your mind to it. And that's, after that, after meditating and understanding that, that's when I started Motive to like, and that's why that accident was on purpose, because it led to Motive, which is how I share with people, you can do anything you set your mind to as long as you stay motivated, which is what I did for that accident.
Dude. Yeah. And I want people to catch that. You did something there. You obviously, you've relabeled it from an accident, and created it, into an opportunity.
Yep.
And it's like, that's how it works. Some of those crazy things that happen in life, like they become, the springboard that launches us into our destiny, and so that's so cool. You had that realization.
I look at life like
How old were you when that happened?
15.
It's kind of amazing. You had the insight to where you, I mean, did you grow up with that, like that positive mindset?
Kind of, not really, to be honest. I found it through meditation, and just to be real, like right after that accident, I slipped into depression for a couple of years. I was really, really sad because I wasn't going to be a pro skateboarder, right? Even though I was able to walk again, I still like my dreams for like the last 5 years, everything I worked for pretty much was like done. Now I'm like, what am I going to do? And I slipped into depression to the point where I wanted to kill myself at age 17. And good thing I didn't, because I found meditation. I was still questioning like how I was able to heal myself, because the curiosity still was in me. So I think I was naturally curious, which helped a lot, because that led to me searching up things. And then meditation was how you strengthen your mind, is what I found online. So I said, let me give this a try. And when I did that, I actually felt really good, because I'm sad. I meditate. I don't feel sadness. I'm like, dang, I'm gonna do this like all day. So I would meditate for like 6 hours a day for like 7 months. And then that's when it hit me. That's when I like became aligned. That's when everything became clear. I like defogged my cloudy mind and realized like, what my compass is and where I'm supposed to be heading. And that's what meditation does, especially if you do it a lot like that. So
what's your current, I mean, you've been doing it for years now. What's your current kind of routine with meditation?
That's a good question.
I'm just curious, because I can't say that I do it often enough.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, normally I meditate like 30 to 40 minutes in the morning. And sometimes I'll meditate for like 15 to 30 minutes.
You got like music going, or like, what do you?
Yeah, I listen to on YouTube, you can find guided meditations. I still listen to them. So there's certain people like, I don't need guided meditations. I'm like, okay, it helps me. Like it still helps me. Like it helps me like tune in. I can get into the meditative state in like 1 to 2 minutes now.
So are you trying to empty your mind, or are you thinking on like your goals, or is it different every time?
What do you think meditation is?
Man, so for me, like, I think it's like, I think it's kind of releasing fear for me, and then it's getting into like my why, like my purpose. I think that's when
Yeah.
I do kind of go into that place. That's my goal.
I definitely think it releases fear. I definitely think it taps you into your purpose for sure.
Okay.
With meditation, I don't like, it's kind of like working out, right? When you work out your body, say you want to grow your biceps, right? You're gonna get big arms. What do? You do some curls, right? You do some pull-ups. And every time you do it, right, you're not gonna get big the first day, right? Maybe not even the first week. Maybe in a month you start seeing something. Maybe in like 3 months you start really seeing. 6 months, oh my God, after a year, wow, you're looking good, right? Your arm's looking good. So when you work out your mind, it's very similar with meditation. So when you meditate, the goal is to focus on your breath. And every time thoughts come in, you want to try to take them away. And that gap between you not thinking those thoughts and you focusing on your breath and then thoughts come in is like the curl. Every time that happens, you're curling that bicep of the mind.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so you want to try to expand that time frame and that gap, because that is where infinite potential is at. And that's where you can access it.
I like that visual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think meditation is. And it also opens up, like, there's so many benefits that, that's a whole podcast talking about all the benefits of meditation.
Totally. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get whole guests on, like
well,
Tom Bilyeu and all those
yeah.
guys. It's like whole episodes on, meditation and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We can go deep into that.
So, it's pretty cool with it's like your social media stuff, your agency and stuff. I mean, you've rubbed shoulders with some pretty successful people. I think I saw you running with, I think where you were with Omar recently in the Passionate Feud, right?
Yeah, we went to go interview Ryan
Pineda.
Yep.
And he's making things happen. Okay, you were the Steph Graham.
Yeah, went to his house.
So how did that all come about?
Well, Omar, it's funny.
I mean, have you known Omar for a while?
Yeah, we've known each other for years, honestly. Like, we're really good friends. Skate Life, if he's watching this, he understands that. Okay. He's a skateboarder.
Oh, so nice.
We connected really well, like, through skateboarding. I remember listening to his podcast when I was younger before we met and going, wow, this is like the best interviewer I've ever seen.
So good.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing when he does his like, he's skilled for sure. And his story is amazing too. But we became friends. We skate, and then I go up there to LA whenever I go to the chiropractor. We stop by, we skate, we go to the skate park. And he invited me out to Vegas about a month ago, I would say.
Okay.
For those interviews.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Got some behind the scene work.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So you were shooting some behind the scenes.
Yeah. We had one of our cinematographers on set, kind of shooting behind the scenes for him and his vlog. And I just tagged along because that stuff is fun.
So cool.
Like, it's fun to like tag along. Like, it's work sometimes because I'll pull up the camera too, and I'll even start shooting. Like, because I like that. I kind of like rubbing shoulders with, like, and try to provide value. Like with Ryan Pineda, we actually did his gifts. So I went there and I was
dude.
Yeah, I was like, yo, do you have gifts? And he's like, no, we haven't been able to figure that out. And I was like, okay. So I asked that, and then we played ping pong, and he beat me. And I set him, and I have this footage. We haven't set the vlog out yet. We're gonna release the vlog soon about that. But I basically said, hey, if you beat me in the next game of ping pong, I will do those gifts for you for free. If I beat you, you have to pay for them. And he was like,
so good.
He was like, bet, let's do it. How much are they? I'm like, $100 per gift. He's like, and they're gotta do like 7 of them. All right, it's like $700. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
He beat me, but it was such a good game though. Like, we were going back and forth at the very end. And then we just got his gifts published. I actually have to message him and tell him that his gifts are published, but you can go on Instagram now and look up his name, and his gifts are up.
Dude. So that's so cool. I mean, I think that's such a key in life. I think is just providing value.
Oh yeah,
without
have to
like expecting anything in return. It's just,
and
it's
you
fun.
Provide value to people who are providing value. There's an amplifying effect. Even if he doesn't give me anything in return, like, I just feel like providing value to him compared to providing value to, like, say I give a homeless person like $20. I mean, sometimes I do when I feel called to, but like, I don't think it amplifies as much as when people are like, if I provide someone value who's providing so much value, like, it's just that ripple effect would just, I feel like would come back in the universe tenfold.
Yeah.
And
that's something I've started doing in my life. Like, I never used to do this, but like, I'll talk to friends now. I'm like, dude, what's your biggest issue right now? You need to meet somebody. Like, what's your biggest need? And then, like, I'll write it on my whiteboard. And I just started doing this like a couple weeks ago. Okay. And I'm like, I've got this running list. I'm like, whenever I can meet one of these needs, I'm gonna like try to do it.
Well, let's talk. Can we talk about needs?
Yeah.
What do you think you need?
What do I need?
Yeah. What do you think people need?
Oh, people need?
Yeah. To live, to be on Earth.
Right. I mean, I think just off the top of my head, the ultimate need is connection.
Okay.
and love and connection.
So that's one of the 4 needs that we need. So there's 4 needs that we actually need to survive. One is love. Other one's intake. We have to be able to drink water, eat food, right? Outtake, we got to let that shit go. You need to take a shit, you need to take a shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's a need. And then the last one's air. Like without it, you'll die in like a couple of minutes. And so those are the actual things. We only need those things. So when you tell yourself, I need something else, it's like kind of like weakening yourself in a way, because you have everything you need, literally. And when you say I have everything I need, now it's about what do I want? What are the wants, right? Because it's a little bit different than need.
When it's like when we say like we need money, what we're really saying is like we need to pay for some groceries.
Yeah, you need food. You for sure need food.
Yeah,
but you don't need money.
No,
there's people who grow their own foods.
Right.
You don't need money for food. And a lot of people think money is like the answer for everything. And I think with a good entrepreneur, you're very resourceful. And it's good that you don't have money, because then you become more resourceful, because now you have to figure out ways to get what you need or what you want with low income. And if you had a lot of money, you would just put money at it, throw money at it, and you wouldn't really become that resourceful. You know?
Have you had moments in your life where it was like, oh, I don't have any money.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know how to make payroll.
I have a really high risk tolerance, like very high. So yes, there's plenty of times. When I first started the agency, I was working for that friend of mine I was telling you that was like my mentor in the record label, and he was teaching me sales. I was getting on phone calls, closing deals, and trying to do customer support because he wasn't delivering and all this stuff. So when I saw that he wasn't delivering, I was like, okay, I'm gonna break away, try to build my own thing. And what he had was a really good software that grew followers organically. So I took that software, I started building the agency, and he saw that, and then he cut me off, and he owed me thousands of dollars of sales commissions that I needed to pay rent. And so when he cut me off, I have like 3 to 4 weeks until rent's due. I just started the website for my agency. I have no clients. And my back was against the wall because I maxed out my credit cards. I was like $25,000 in debt at the time. Like there was the personal loan, paying that off, the credit cards, everything was maxed out. So my back was against the wall. And the week before I had to pay rent was like, man, I sent DMs out. I haven't got any leads. I haven't closed any deals. Like I might have to get a fucking job.
Right.
I was like, fuck. It's like one of the worst things an entrepreneur can think
of. The worst 3 letters.
It made me cry. I was sitting there crying, going, what the fuck? What am I going to do? Like Ralph's? Like, fuck. Like, whatever. I'll get a job. My thought was like, I'll get a job. I'll stack some money up. I'll then go back into the business and try again.
Right.
But luckily, I feel like God tests you until you're ready to break before he gives you the opportunities that you can seize. And so I thought that. I cried that one day. The day after, I got 5 replies on the DMs of these clients. Got on those calls, closed 3 of the 5 calls, made $1,700 that month, somewhere around there. So I was able to pay rent and groceries. Dude. And I wasn't eating ramen that month. I was pretty happy because I was eating ramen for a couple months.
Yeah.
Before that,
But you were shooting out DMs, so you were taking action.
I was still taking, even though I was feeling horrible.
Yeah.
And like I was still like move at it, because if I wasn't, then those feelings and those thoughts of me not making it were for sure gonna happen if I wasn't taking action. Yep. The action was at least there's a possibility of it not happening, right? There's a possibility of someone replying, which did. And ever since then, I delivered on the service. They referred people, and as long as you over deliver, then you're gonna continuously grow your business, and that's what I did.
Dude, cool.
Yeah,
good stuff. So talk to me about Web 3.0. So
interesting topic.
I feel like an old guy when it comes to this space. I kind of am an old guy, but I'm trying to pay attention though, because it's one of the things that was eye-opening to me was I love Tom Bilyeu. I watched so many.
You remind me of Tom Bilyeu a little bit.
Okay. And he's had a couple of these guys on talk about Bitcoin and crypto, and I had this like moment when I wish I could remember the guy's name. It was Michael Saylor, I think. Michael Saylor. He's talking about crypto. And it was in that moment when I like realized like what money actually is, when you look up like the definition of money, and there's like 5 traits, and like Bitcoin like checks all those boxes, and it's like the ultimate like. So anyways, I kind of got on this little rabbit hole with NFTs and crypto a little bit. So I definitely see the shift coming now. I didn't a year ago. I was like, what's this?
It's a good time to buy a Bitcoin right now.
Crypto stuff.
This is a perfect time to buy.
But I've seen you like buying up NFTs, kind of in that world. I mean, you're not an NFT developer, you're not like a crypto developer, but like obviously you've seen something as well.
Yeah.
Like, so somebody that's watching that's maybe like clueless about NFTs, crypto, like what have you seen? What have you learned?
So I'm not an expert in this field, but I have been studying it because I know it's the future. And I want to always be prepared for the future, right? I'm definitely going to have NFT projects for Motive, with our clothing, our skateboards. But like Gary Vee says right now, 99% of the NFT projects are going to go to shit, right? So I'm really just like, I bought some, didn't do well. The ones, I mean, I wish I bought the Bored Apes, right?
Yeah,
When it first came out. But I'm just kind of testing it out. I think it's going to be the future because NFTs is a smarter contract. It's a smarter way of having something, right? Like a house. Like if you have the NFT of the house, yeah, sure, it's a picture, but it's a picture that's on the blockchain, that's contracted. So there's a specific number that you have a key to that nobody else has. I think it's just, there's a smarter way of doing that. And I also think like when you look at video games, people are buying like the Fortnite, for example.
People have been doing that forever, trading like buying like little
NFTs,
like little weapons,
the weapons,
stuff.
the skins. The skins literally doesn't do anything other than change the skin of
but
the.
But now, like you can prove ownership, and like you will own that.
Yeah, that
skin,
digital thing. Yeah,
that digital
skin.
thing. Yeah,
and they don't sell the game. That was a huge change in the game industry. I look at the game industry as well. Like they used to sell games for $60, and then maybe there was a couple upsells that were in there for like $20-$15, but now they're not even selling the game. It's nothing but NFTs that they're selling.
No way.
Well, yeah,
that's the model
Fortnite,
now.
It's free, right?
Wow.
Call of Duty Warzone, they copied it, right? Free. You just pay for skins, pay for weapons, whatever it may be. And that's making 10 times, 50 times, maybe even 100 times of what the purchase price was before with just a $60 disc. So, I mean, that's another example of NFTs, but I think like it's going to be the future. I think we're going to have like glasses, Google glasses or whatever. And when we walk down the street, businesses are going to have their own NFTs, right? Like it's going to say, like, come over here for the best sushi or whatever. And it's going to be cool and dope. And you're going to pay someone to create the coolest looking NFT. So it brings people into your store or your restaurant. I just think that's like kind of the future we're moving into.
Yeah, dude, I just thought of this. My son, he's 8. He like sees it coming. He made this comment the other day. He didn't even know what he said. And I was like, you are so right. He's like, I was like on my computer or something. Maybe I can't remember. We were watching a YouTube video or something, and there was some product in the video. He's like, Dad, wouldn't it be cool if you could just click on that and buy it? I'm like, you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Like that is,
it does.
that is like,
you're going to have a 3D printer in the future. You click on it, it's going to print in like 30 minutes.
Dude, that's crazy to think about.
Nope.
Dude.
Future, man.
Yeah, so it's all just going to be that like licensing. You're really just paying for the licensing so you can 3D print it.
Exactly.
Dang, that's crazy to think about.
Which is probably like that's an agreement, right? License.
Yep.
NFT.
Yep. And that's the power of these NFTs. I don't think people realize, because it's like when I first saw NFTs, it was like, oh, it's like these just like artistic images. Like I don't understand, but like when you really realize the smart contract below it is that's what gives it power.
Yep.
So my first and only NFT purchase was Ryan Pineda's Tykes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When we were there, he was like, we're getting ready to launch in the next couple of days.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so because of my real estate background, I'd been familiar with Ryan Pineda for a while, right? So like I'm familiar with him from the real estate world, but then he's like getting into these NFTs. And that was the reason I bought those, is because I was more buying into him, because I knew like his vision, the stuff he takes on is like usually like works out. But just some real world like value there. Like his NFTs, you're going to be able to have access to like real life, like real estate, kind of like an Airbnb.
Yeah.
If you're a Tyke holder, you get to go, stay in these Airbnbs.
Yep.
And so that's where things are going, and it's just going to be interesting to watch.
Very interesting. So, yeah.
Cool, man. So 777. What is that? What is 7? I see you posting 777 everywhere.
Yeah, numerology. Have you ever studied numerology?
No, I haven't, and that's why I want to ask you about it.
So, if for people who are curious about numerology, the way I was curious about it when I first started learning about it was that like numbers is how the whole universe is mapped in a way. Like that's kind of like God's language, right? Everything has a number. This measurement of this table, you know, the duration of this podcast, the size of your shirt, right? The distance it took you to get here. Everything's backed by numbers, and it's all like this matrix, right?
Yep.
And certain numbers mean certain things. And like they give you signals to, you know, move in a direction or not, right? Like, or you have certain guidance, or maybe like, you know, it's like, for example, like fours, you know, when I see fours, I'm like, okay, like I'm on the right path. Like this is what I need to do. Sevens, since you asked about sevens, that's like a very holy number. Like, okay, like there's guardian angels, there's God, something saying that I am doing the right thing right now. And I continue moving in this direction. When I see it, I think alignment. That's the biggest thing. I'm like, okay, I'm aligned.
So for you, cause I was curious. So for you, is it more like, when you see it, it's like a cue for you to think a certain way? Is that how you think of it? Or do you
When I
think
see
of it,
it,
like, do you think of it as God, like placing that number in your day, like as you go about your day?
Or I feel like we're co-creators, right? So like we're gods in ourselves. And this is what I believe.
No, yeah, I want to hear it.
And so I think by setting the intention that I want to be aligned, I see it more. And when I'm not, I see 666. And that gives me like, okay, what am I doing right now that's not right? Am I doing something not just, or am I doing something that's not aligned with my goals? And I think by just even giving myself that reference, then I start looking at things at the right time, right? So like I don't start thinking about stuff right when I see it, but when I see it, it gives me confirmation that this is where I'm at. This is where I'm being, you know? Like 222 has different things than 444 than 777. Like they all have like different, you know,
interesting
things behind it.
So it's not just the sevens.
Kind of like astrology.
So it's not just the sevens. You pay attention to other numbers as well. Okay.
But sevens are like, I mean, the whole brand motive is 37. So seven is like the secret of truth.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So seven stands for the secret truth, meaning there's more to life than meets the eye. And so with motive, it's all about, you know, reason, right? Motive, the definition of motivation, if you break it into two parts, motive and ation, motive in Latin is motarvis, which means reason, and ation means action. So a simple definition for motivation is a reason to take action. Reason why I call it motive is because I want people to like start to ask, what's the reason? Why are they doing what they're doing in their life? And in order to do that, you need to, you know, uncover, you know, the secrets within, right? You need to peel the layers back of reality. And that's what seven's about, the secret of truth.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yep.
So, so what's next for you? You got a couple brands, a couple companies. I'm sure you're always. So, is the game plan to blow those up? Do you have some other ideas brewing?
We're about to launch an app next first quarter next year.
No way.
Website's going to be up in the next couple of weeks.
Is this the Motive app?
No, the Motive app's already launched.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah. This is content on demand. So
content on demand.
Yeah, it's a new business.
Is that going to be the title of the app as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's the name of the company and the app. Content on demand is basically an app where you can shoot content right on your phone, and you can shoot it for YouTube or for TikTok.
Okay.
And you upload it directly to the app and say, hey, I want this for a promotional video, a marketing video, a YouTube trailer, you know, any type of video that you need edited for. And within 24 hours minimum, you know, you'll get an edited video back to you, and it'll look professional, look good, look clean. You can leave adjustments. You can ask them to change some things, and then your content's there on demand.
Oh, wow. So they're just shooting the raw video, and then you guys do the edit, and then maybe add some titles or something.
Oh yeah, make it look professional. Make it look like the best content that you can put out on social media.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and it's simple and it's easy. I mean, I do that with my agency, and I systemized the editing process because I have editors overseas.
Yep.
And I was like, this would be a lot easier if it was an app, and then people would just pay per video, for whatever video they want to create, instead of hiring an agency where there's a whole process. We have managers. You're communicating with people. Like, I want to systemize it so that I can scale my revenue with that, and not scale my time with it as much, like how I would with the agency. I don't want to scale my agency more. That's like, I don't want to bring on more clients from my agency. Right. I'm only focused on like very specific people that I want to just back their legacy. Like me and my team want to just be a part of their mission. We want to continue to grow it. We profit share, and that's it. I don't want to go more than 5 people that we're helping with the agency. Realistically, before it was just like bring on clients. We had dozens of clients, and now I've been reducing those clients and just focusing on a few, because I don't want to scale a $10 million agency the old way. I want to scale it the new way, which I'm talking about, which is a couple people.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how's the economics of that going to work? Is it going to be like the length of video?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the longer
depending
videos.
on what it is, like if you want to click on YouTube videos between 3 to 5 minutes, it's this price. 10, 15 minutes, it's this price. So the length of the video, it comes with a couple revisions. If you want more revisions, you know, it's $50 per revision. And a revision is basically like just a whole notepad of what to change. in the video.
Dude, such a good idea.
Yeah.
And I imagine with some of like the advances in like AI technology and stuff.
Oh yeah, we're
there's,
integrating
like,
AI with it.
There's going to be some like auto like editing that's going to be able to happen. You know?
Guessed it already. That's already in the works. So we have
Dude.
AI where as soon as you upload the video, say it's a macro video, it will be able to find keywords and pull micros from it.
Dude.
So if you upload a podcast and you put it in and you put in like, I want to, you know, and it would be good if you kind of took some notes and say, hey, he talked about this, talked about that. And like those keywords about motivation or keywords about meditation or what the AI can find that and take the micros from it.
Dude.
And then give it to the editor. So they just, and then quickly give it back to you.
Dude, I'm excited. That sounds like a great app.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Good stuff.
I've been working on it for like, we've had the app developers work on about 10 months now. It was supposed to release like after 6 months, but I was like, I don't want to release this. I want it to be like the best freaking app that I've ever used. I tested the beta and I was like, no, go back. We'll hire up another developer that can make this look better, or who can make it, you know,
You're probably investing some bucks into that then. If you got some developers working on it.
Yeah, I got like 25K into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Not too much. I'm still really resourceful.
That's amazing.
So like, you know, it could have been 100K for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
If you hired a certain developer, I'm sure.
Hired certain developers, wasn't able to profit share the first year. Like I set stuff up so that I was able to start with a low investment.
I'm glad you said that, because I see successful people do that so much. It's like it's about how you structure relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can defer your startup cost, I guess is maybe a good way to say that, by structuring things properly.
You don't need money. You just need people. Like that's literally what it comes down to. Or I shouldn't say need. You know, like to get anything done in business, a lot of people think that money is what they need to have in order to get it done. But no, you just need to know the right people. If you knew Oprah, you would need $0 to launch a product.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Or if you knew someone on the Shark Tank, like
yeah, exactly.
It just depends on who you know.
That's good.
And that's why building your reputation is so important, because your personal brand is all about getting people to know you, like you, and trust you. If you have a lot of people that do that, then you have more opportunities presented for you.
Dude, awesome.
Yeah.
I got one more question for you, but before that, where can people find you on social? Is that the best way to find you and follow you?
Yeah, I mean, you can come knock on my door, but I'm not going to give you my address.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, social.
We got the secret hideout here.
Yeah, we're in the basement. On all social media platforms, Marco the Champion or Marco Champion, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We do vlogs, podcasts. You know, I just try to put out as much content as I can. I know I should be putting out more, but we literally do that for other people.
You do that for other people. I know.
all the time. And so it's like, okay, now I got to focus on my stuff. But now that I'm kind of, you know, a lot of things are systemized, and I'm now pouring into Motive and have the agency kind of running. And once the app launches, I would have so much more bandwidth to start posting more consistently, and having my team just, you know, we're actually stacked with content. Like we're ready to go. We have vlogs just in the arsenal ready to go. It just, you know, the bandwidth to put it out.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Cool. My last question is, what's your biggest need right now? Is it maybe somebody listening or watching? Is there a connection, somebody you need to know, a resource?
I have everything I need.
Yeah.
Biggest thing I want.
A want.
Yeah. Biggest thing I want. No, I really do have everything I need, man. I'm blessed. And that pours me into gratitude. That's the reason why I talk about it. It's like when you realize you have everything you need, you're grateful. Right. And when you're grateful, you have like this energy that emits from you that attracts more things to be grateful for.
Dude.
Right.
Dude, what do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Yeah,
it's like, man, we got everything
your
we
grass
need.
is greener.
Yeah.
It's not green on the other side. You make it greener, right?
Good.
But to answer your question, if there's something that I want a lot of things, man. I'll name one. I want this app to launch, right?
Totally.
Yeah, I want to be able to focus. What my biggest want is to be able to focus 80% of my time on Motive. I would say 77% if I want to be, you know, exactly throwing sevens out there. Mm-hmm. And the rest on other companies and things that I'm doing. There are other passion projects or other money making businesses, and that's what I want overall.
Totally.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Look forward to seeing that app come out.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks for your time, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Good stuff.